Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Are you a brewhead? I'm a brewhead. Y'all are brewheads? Yeah, we brewheads. So pour a glass of craft beer, we can do this. Yeah.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead, and welcome to episode 85 of Beer and Other Shit Podcast Adjunct Series. This evening, we have a special one, brand new brewery from here in Quebec. I have been really looking forward to getting the full story, so we have a full stacked lineup this evening. Once again, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped. We will get to that a bit later on. But, man, please, let's bring on these champions. I don't even want to set it up anymore. We have Noah Forrest from Beerism, Alex and Jasen from Lagerbräu. Everybody, welcome.
Yay.
Jasen flexing on us with the Luca pour off the rip there. Woof.
Yum.
Welcome back, everyone. The last time everyone would have seen Jasen and Alex, I got to check the episode, but it was an interesting one. It was a nice 4-hour one. Jasen was our last minute guest sliding in there. It was a good time. It was a really good time, no?
Yeah,
I think I was a bit intoxicated.
You know what?
To be polite.
A little. It was episode 32 from this season.
32.
So that must have been at least a year ago, eh? Probably a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez, time flies, eh? But this evening,
It's now 85.
right? It's crazy, 85. But this evening, we're talking about your brand new project that you both started together along with your partner Olivier, Lagerbräu. Here, let me get on there. Look at that, mate. What a gorgeous thing. And tonight we're going to start off with your Pilsner, brand new Pilsner, second beer of your lineup. Do you want to tell us about this particular beer, guys? What's in it? What's the ingredients? What's the hops? What's the process? What's the intention?
You mean the Pilsner?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, it's a German-inspired Pilsner. So in the Pilsner family, there are mainly two big branches: the Bohemian Pilsners from Czech Republic, and then the ones from Czech Republic are kind of the original stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. And then the German Pilsners are maybe a tad less malty. Probably our interpretation is we wanted to have it maybe more hop forward and a little less malt forward, and it's a clean Pilsner, and we're quite happy with this one. It's the first batch.
Love it.
And we already have some ideas to tweak it for the second batch and bring it to the next level, but we're very happy with the first one.
Oh, that is delicious, man. Is this Saaz? Is Saaz the traditional hop for German pills?
Well, it's not. There's Saaz in it, but not only Saaz. Since it's a German Pilsner, we wanted to bring some German noble hops. So there's Hallertau Mittelfrüh.
I know the one. Yeah.
Pardon my German. It's just a clean floral. I think it's more like floral compared to Saaz. Saaz is more like herbal.
Grassy.
Almost grassy, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like freshly cut grass.
Right.
But they're the both of them are playing in quite a good balance in this beer. And yeah, it's a Pilsner. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. This is what we like, and we'll So the Pilsner, alongside with our Lagerbier, are the two main beers in our lineup. The two regular, and then we'll have some seasonals every now and then. Always lagers, obviously.
Love it. Yeah, this is fantastic.
Are you gonna lager a smoothie, or is that gonna be something else.
Definitely. Yeah. That's
Oh,
that's
I'll
why
let Jason handle this one.
that's why this episode it's Adjunct Series. Yeah. That you can't.
see, Jason
I was
switched on.
questioning myself why I was there. Yeah, they're no adjunct. So ciao.
So we have to do something. Lager smoothie collab. I
No,
love
but
it.
we've mentioned it a few times by now, but I think it's a good opportunity to mention it again that we 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 don't have anything against like lactose stuff, and we're kidding. You and me with the
Yeah, yeah.
lactose and the milkshake IPAs and the smoothie beers and everything. And personally, and I feel that all the three of us in Lagerbräu, we don't have anything like against that. It's just that we are
We don't
not
have a rant.
the. It's not our type of. It's not the type of beers that we're looking for, and there's plenty of them on the market. And if you like them, you have a lot of choice. So we wanted to bring something that we enjoyed a lot, which are
Yeah. We
very
want to
well-made
brew
craft
what
lagers.
we drink.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We want to brew what we drink, and we don't drink those beer. So we drank Pilsner and Lagerbier and all those kind keller beer and all those kind of beer.
yeah.
We drink lagers, so
Right.
we brew lagers.
I love
And
it.
sometimes, I mean, I do enjoy a well-made IPA from time to time, to rinse my to rinse my palate, just to change the. But I find that, especially in the last year, like 9 out of 10 times, I find myself craving a lager, and sometimes saison also, because
Mhm.
I really enjoy saison also, but it's it's not there won't be a lager saison in lager bar.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if you would ever be willing to is Lagerbräu always gonna be on the edge of more traditional lagers, or would you push the limits and do some hybrid things, or is the idea always to kind of like, yes, you're gonna do your take on it, but maybe like with a little
It's
bit of a different approach?
Jason, you want to say something about that?
Uh, we we're not traditional. That's it. We're not traditional. We don't. We do lagers, but we don't do
Yeah.
that rise and god shit and all those things. We just do good
Mhm.
lagers, and if we have to put fruit in it, we put fruit in it. But I don't think that that's a good thing to do, and that's not why
Right.
what we want to drink. So
Right.
if did la we don't want to be stuck in those paradigm of we just do the traditional way.
Yeah.
We want to explore, have an artistic way, but yeah, we've got those parameters, and we want to live on this way.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
and it's
That makes
it's
sense.
it's some kind of a challenge that we wanted to like to work within the limits of what can we do, and at the same time the lager family is quite large, and there's
Mhm.
so
It's massive.
people tend to associate lager to like a pale blonde beer, but you can do almost anything in lager fermentation.
Mm.
It's only a type of it's a type of yeast. It's a type of fermentation, but the malt bill can change. The hops can change. You can do like barrel aging, like as long as it's on the cold side, but it's something we did in the past together, Jason, Olivier, and I, and it's something that we're looking forward to doing again, like
Mm.
cold aging lagers in barrels or fodders. footers, right?
Yeah, fooders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I keep saying that the Baltic Porter at Three Musketeers that because I spent a lot of time there. It's a lager. It's a it's a strong, like 10% alcohol black lager. So there's you can do smoky lager. You can do so much. It's there's almost no limits. So and we're not saying like on the cans that we're true to the Reinheitsgebot, this pseudo German law. We just we don't want to give us too many constraints, but at the same time we know that we love traditional, well-made craft lagers, and we don't want to start like putting marshmallow in our lagers.
Yet.
And we already have in Quebec some stupid law. We don't want to bring some stupid law from another country.
I think that's very fair. And speaking of all of that, you gave us a little bit of the history. So if you want to get Alex's full history, we went through that in episode 32 because he's very deep in the beer industry, working in multiple places. So I wanted to sort of touch on how you two and your third partner, Olivier, how you guys connected. Because I know you did, like Alex, you just mentioned, you guys already worked together a few times in the last few years on some beers. And then how this particular project came to be, because it's pretty new. I was hoping to be the first podcast to have you on, but Pierre jumped and got me, the motherfucker. Yeah. So I love him, so it's okay. Shouts to Pierre. Do you guys want to maybe just talk about how you two connected and how Olivier, what you did in the past, and then how that led to this brand new project?
It's mostly Jason's fault, so I'll let him explain why we came together.
It's always Jason's fault. Feels like.
Is my girlfriend's there or what? It's always my fault.
No, but you're the one when we came back from our trip in Germany in 2019, right? So we came back from a trip with many very good brewers, Hildegard, Aricana, a lot of great guys, Pat Roy from Southern Brewery, many good friends, and Martin Thibault. And when we came back from, so it was mostly in Franconia, so this eastern part of Germany, close to Czech Republic.
Okay.
And with a very strong and very authentic beer culture. And then we also went in Czech Republic, obviously. So when we came back from there, that's where Jason said, "Hey, that was too good. We cannot don't do anything with that. Do you guys want to brew a beer for my
store, my grocery?
Not stores, markets, supermarkets. How do you say?
Yeah,
stores or supermarkets.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and the rest is history, guys.
Okay. Tell us.
Yeah. When we came back from Germany, I often do some collaboration with other breweries to have some exclusive products in my groceries, and not just with beer. I do this with cider. I do this with cheese. I just received my plug, my new one with Danam for my 10 years.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
It's
amazing.
Zibelin. Zibelin. It's a lager. We put 9 months in a Sauvignon.
Cool.
So it's barrel-aged lagers, like funky lager, pretty season-ish, but at the base of all the thing, it was a lager. And I always do this, and it's kind of way to I don't know how to say that in English, but in French I say j'intellectualise mon alcoolisme. I'm intellectual. J'intellectualise mon alcoolisme.
Yeah.
Intellectualize your alcoholism.
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, that's that. When we came back, it was just say, I want to feel. I want to revive this moment, especially this kind of moment when we were at Rappelt in a keller, and we just sat down, drink some beer, and everybody all was speechless, and we're just listening to the birds, listening to the voice of the forest and those goddamn good beer,
Yeah, it's
drinking
one
in
of those
one lighter,
like perfect
and you were
moments.
just thinking that, did I have time to bring another one? So and it's, I want to feel this and feel that here, and no kind of beer, or I don't have this kind of attachment or nostalgia about this. So I talk about that to Alex and Olivier. They just do, man. We're doing the Gaouette, and so I do two kind of beer with the Gaouette branding, and because that's just my name first, and that sound like Rappelt, Gaouette Rappelt. That's stupid like that. and
Yeah, and even the logo was like intentionally very like
Oh, it was
similar,
perfect.
just to
Yeah, looks
yeah.
really clean, man.
It,
You did a keller beer. Was one of them was a keller beer, and the second one
yeah,
was
Dunkless.
Dunk. Okay,
donc
And
less, yeah.
the second one with the Dunkless was all the brewery who was there.
okay.
It was a
Yeah.
kindly smokish Dunkless.
Very cool.
Yeah, there
And the
was
Keller beer
a
was lagering and powder for like 3 or 6 months, 3 months, 3 months in lagering and powder.
yeah,
Okay,
hmm
yeah,
and
there was some smoke, a little bit of smoke malts in it. It was not a rauch beer in any way, but it was just smoky enough to add
Yeah.
complexity, and I actually love that beer a lot. But brown brown beer, especially in the springtime, uh, was not super great timing, so it sold a little bit less than the
Mm.
Keller beer. But yeah, it's always a question of like a niche, you know. I think there's a niche for rock beer and dark lagers, but it's obviously smaller than pilsners, you know. So
okay.
yeah.
So then you guys did those two beers together, and
Mhm.
then what inspired this particular project for you guys to actually team up and create a brand, a
Well,
brewery, a corporation about it?
let's
Well,
just say
those
that
two guys, those two guys have some spare times because
yeah, we had free time
That's a free
things,
time.
this
and
summer.
and, we were every time that we were together, we're just talking about lagers, always, always,
Yeah.
always. So we need to do something about this. Yeah, we need to share this emotion, this passion to the rest of the people.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you know we at first we were talking maybe about opening a brew pub or something, and we had this very specific vision for an authentic keller. You know, a keller is kind of like a beer garden, but you have this cellar, underground cellar that the loggers are are
Aged?
underground. You know, so it's the you're using the temperature of the ground to cool the beer. You know, so it's because it's back then there was no refrigeration, so it was the way they did it, and so we had this maybe this fantasy to do something like that, and obviously you need to find the right spot and the right zoning for this kind of thing, and we looked a little bit, but it was not we're not quite ready, and even though I had some money from how do you say héritage in
Oh,
English?
inheritance.
Yeah, so from my mother, and but I was not ready to maybe put all this money like just yet for a brew pub slash killer project, and not like we couldn't find the right spot just yet. So we said, okay, so either so maybe we can either wait for the right spot to present itself, or we 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 put this brand on the market and make it grow, and so that's what we decided to do. And so we had a I don't remember who contacted who first, but the guys at Avant-Garde proposed us to do some beers at their place, and we had a couple of meetings, and just the energy was very great between us and them. So yeah, it was not something that I was. Uh, and the other guys, the three of us, were not specifically looking to do contract brew, because Olivier and I are brewers, and we're for me it's like I'm in this business and in this industry since 14 years already. So as a brewer, so it's kind of like doing things a little bit backward, like going to do a contract brew after 14 years, but it was, I think, a question of timing mostly, and also since Jason
Yeah.
owns
It was
two.
it was
Yeah.
timing. It was location too, because like you said, every place we're looking for to install the keller, it was so expensive this time. Obviously, because everybody knows. It was really expensive, and a lot of law was pretty complicated to bring a bar in those kind of place. So so yeah, we decide to go to the contract brew statement, and talking about stupid law later. One of those stupid law, I can't have two kind of permits with alcohol in Quebec. So I've got two grocery store, and I can sell beer in my groceries, beer and wine. So if I can sell beer and wine, I can't produce
Yeah.
beer and wine.
Oh wow.
So I can have the production permit and the selling permit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
That's pretty stupid, because now I'm contract brew, so I do literally the same thing that if I was buying my own shit, but the production permit is to Avant-Garde, so I'm buying the beer to Avant-Garde.
Yeah.
It just those stupid.
How are you?
I think the law is made that way. So back in the days, they didn't want like the big breweries like Molson to buy all the dépanneurs and all the grocery stores,
Right.
and only put Molson on the shelves, So this is why the law states that you cannot have a license to sell alcohol and a license to produce alcohol at the same time. You cannot have your name on both license. So that's something we'll find a way. Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll
And,
kick Jason out. We don't know. Just
but
kidding.
some people do it. We just have to have a good lawyer, and a lawyer that have creativity. Just
Yeah.
just
No,
those kind of
there-
things. It just costs more.
Yeah.
There are
I have a
some
question
ways
for you guys.
to do this legit, but it needs time, and we just want to, and also, starting a brewery takes a lot of, obviously, time, energy, and I didn't f- I didn't feel that this year was the right time for me to step in this again. So yeah, but this whole contract brewing, it's a new learning opportunity for all of us, and I
Yeah.
personally I love learning, and it's a new dynamic. We're we already knew the guys at Avant-Garde, but we're learning
Mhm.
to know them even better, and
And it's a good partnership because those avant-garde
yeah,
guys,
very good.
they 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 own their Lagersplaining. They own their games, and
Yeah, they
they know how to do some good lagers with a good price, with a good price point too, because
Mhm.
that's important. You don't want to sell
yeah.
those kind of beer like $6, $7 for the can. It's just impossible.
Yeah.
So and they're human. They're not just we're not just a number. Or they're just
Yeah.
a brewing sheet that you drop down and you have no opportunity to tweak some recipe or some process, and that's the
It
way
was
we work, and that's the way we want to work, and that's the way we work with humans generally. It's we
Mhm.
want to get keep the human touch with those, and that's what we do.
yeah.
I was curious.
It
What
was
so
it was very important for us to
I need to leech Alex because Noah tried 2 times to ask us a question.
oh, sorry. Okay, just one thing, and then you'll have your chance. But it was very important for us that
Thanks for coming, Noah.
Go ahead,
no,
Alex.
because I don't want to lose my idea. But it was very important for us to not just send a recipe in an email and then they brew it and then that's it. We wanted to be very active in the process. Olivier and I are on the floor on the brew day, talking with the brew team, and we're not like, obviously we're not operating the brew house because it's not our brew house, and there are like insurance issues and everything. But we're there. We're constantly like talking about the recipe with them. Oh, do you think, because it's not, we're learning, because a recipe is one thing, but the brew house is another thing. The water profile is another thing. So we have to
Mhm.
learn, and there's only one way to perfect a recipe, is to have
Yeah.
constant communication with the brewers, and we're so,
Mhm.
and we felt that emails or FaceTime won't make it. We have
Yeah.
to be on the floor. We have to be there. We have to feel it, and we're every time we do at least 2 checkups during fermentation. We go there, we taste it, we go to taste it prior canning, and then we're back on the canning day to help them. So we're very active in the process, and that was important for us. Yeah. Noah, sorry.
That was good.
oh,
I hope.
I've already forgotten all my questions.
Yeah,
No,
no more question.
um, I wanted I wanted to ask. So I mean, obviously, historically speaking, lagers became the most popular beers in the world. But
Mhm.
the craft beer movement was almost arguably kind of like a push against lagers, but obviously not lagers specifically, but the big beer business and
Yeah.
people wanting something a bit different than your shitty corn rice filled
Yeah.
crappy macro lager, whatever. Um, so these days, the craft beer scene is pretty inundated with extreme flavors. And you know what? I wouldn't say these days. I guess extreme flavors have always been the craft beer thing, whether it was the IBU insane bitterness from 10 years ago, and now it's, insane fruiting rates or crazy New England style IPAs. So I guess
Yeah.
my question is but then in the last year or two, at least in Quebec, lagers have been starting to become popular again, right? When you have places like Missouri that always has a lager on tap, even though they're, a specialty IPA smoothie bar.
Uh,
Um, whereas then you won't see like a brown ale at Missouri, right? So there is definitely
It's
some
because the
kind of,
brewers
um,
drink that.
yeah, exactly. So I guess my question
no,
It's a
is,
brewer's
and
beer.
and and Jason would
brewers
probably
love
have
lagers
a,
too.
a particular first-hand knowledge of this, but like how are these beers selling? And obviously, if you guys are going in business to pretty more or less strictly just brew lagers, there has to be a market for it. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are. Are people buying craft lagers, and are they willing to spend that extra money for them as opposed to, the cheap, macro stuff
Yeah,
or whatever?
I
And
don't
I
know
guess it touches
if
on your point from before, what you were talking about, how you wanted to partner with somebody where you're not going to be spending, like Bach Canada sells their lager for like $6-7
I
a
paid
can, which
$7.50.
is just not, it's not going to work.
Mm.
So anyway, sorry, I was cutting you off. Please go ahead.
Jason?
j'ai perdu mon fil.
Well, okay.
It's my turn.
So, yeah, I think there is a growing market for well-made craft lagers. We see that, yeah, there always have been some form of lagers in the craft beer scene. You just have to think about La Mer à Boire, It's a brew
Yeah.
pub, a little bit like under the radar, but they're brewing absolutely awesome lagers since like I remember going there in 2002,
It's an
and
IPA.
being.
Mm.
But for me, the Chernahora, it's a beer a Czech beer they brew there. It's one of the best lagers in Quebec, and it's clearly underrated, But there are other very good breweries on the lager game. There's Silo, obviously, Aricana, Hildegarde, Grand Bois, a lot of
Yeah, but
there's
they're
and
selling. They're
yeah,
selling, and they don't all sales. No, nobody. We can't have a 30-foot square, 30-foot square of lager, blonde lager in a grocery or a
yeah.
dépanneur.
They don't
It's
they so there, even though there are very good lagers on the market, in my knowledge there are not a dedicated lager brewery or brand, because
Not in Canada.
sorry.
Not in Canada. Only one I can think of is
So
Von
yeah,
Trapp in
so
Vermont. That's about it.
on that, yeah.
that's kind of what we went for. We decided that okay, it's going to be our niche, and we're going to see if it works. And so far, the response is good. We're quite happy.
Good.
And it's and it's true that lagers, they were very all over the place with the macro breweries, and I mean, there. If it means something, it's that the public love lagers, but it went
Yes.
like a little bit downhill because when you're a big industry, you're trying to cut some costs and you're cheaping out on ingredients, and
Hey,
so
I've got a perfect just to explain this point. I think if I'm wrong, retake me. The kind of thing that you said about the macro brewery and the big industries, uh, it's like burger, man. Everybody loves burger, and
yeah.
a lot of time you got those McDo, Big Mac, Burger King ish that make burger, and they're the other place you make a really good smash burger with feed grass beef and a good bun
A
bread,
craft
and
burger.
Craft burger.
that's craft burger,
It
but
is.
that's still a burger. That's still a
Mm.
motherfucking burger. That's the same thing, but there's a McDo and there's this guy that
Yeah,
make this smash
yeah,
burger
yeah.
that's just perfect. That's how I saw I see lagers. It's the big breweries doing this, but if they're doing this and they make a lot of money about that, it's because people buy them, because people buy those beer. If they buy those beer, it's because they like it. So if they like it, we can do it, but better. And yes, sell it.
Do it our way, and there's so much money going into like imported brands like let's say Heineken, Stella Artois, all these big international brands that are I mean they're okay, they're better quality. I don't, you know, Heineken is I think it's an okay beer, but why would people from here buy that brand? You can buy like craft lager from here instead.
By this
Yeah.
brand.
Exactly.
And one thing about the craft beer scene, you know, and it's since I'm the very beginning, I missed the first few years because I was underage, you know, but since I'm in this business since like 2005 ish, uh, there's always been the same constant that is uh, the craft beer scene always tried to offer something different, you know, versus the macro breweries, or you try to, because you know in the very first years of the craft beer scene here, there was this Boreal, you know, they did the Russe, you know, it's a red ale, but it was different compared to all the other macro beers, and it sell like hotcakes, you know. And right now, you know, a brewery with a red ale is like, yeah, boring. You know, there's nothing
Team
special
Roos.
there. It's
Team
but 30
Team
years ago
Rus.
it was revolutionary, and then the big IPAs came from the US, you know, and it's a wave that is still rolling right now. It's always like pushing the boundaries of what an IPA can be, and I at some point I'm pretty sure people are just going to be like sniffing hops powder. I don't know. I don't know where this is going, but you know, the craft beer scene always try to be different versus the let's say the monopoly of, or the you know, the mainstream thing. And but Jason mentioned something earlier, and which is very true, is that brewers at the end of their day, they drink, most of them they drink lager.
Yep.
We love, and it's you speak to 10 brewers, and probably nine of them will say, I at the end of my day I want to drink a well-made lager, because you're like saturated with hops and with all these things, and you just want to drink a
I,
simple yet
I
well-made and
remember an anecdote
tasty.
from Marc Bélanger de BrewHeads. And we're just talking, and it's and, and like it's 8 or 9 years ago. It's old anecdote, and we're just saying that, man, there's no good lager in these time. In these time, there are no good lager. And
Mm.
when we go to say I sell beer, and he was selling beer in a bar. See, I sell beer. I can have all the beer in the world, and but when I go home, I buy a beer and I drink some Bitburger, and I was shocked because that's the beer I bought too. When I go home, I just bring. I always have a 4 pack of Bitburger because there's that kind of ups and this this bitterness that no other have in those time. Now,
Right.
now it's another day,
Yeah, no, it's
but
better.
it's an anecdote
But
coming.
That's amazing.
it's the perfect link, you know, the burger thing you were talking earlier, and
Ooh.
Bitburger and burger. There's something there,
It's
man.
full circle, bro. Ooh.
But I think like
Hamburg.
whether or not you're a fan of like let's say Beauregard the brewery, they've started a brewery that only brews stouts and porters and
Or
things
just
that have
dark
dark
beers.
malts in them.
Yeah.
So like,
Mhm.
and so if that's working now,
Yeah.
and then you look at places like Musorum or places like bought Canada, who are really specializing almost solely in 3, maybe 4 styles of beer, but then like an insane number of variants in between, and brewing new versions of it every week, literally every week. And that kind of niche stuff is working, so it stands to reason that doing a niche of lagers in a world that has historically and currently still loves lagers, it's just a matter of navigating that, I guess, in the craft scene, in the sense that like, if everyone out there loves Big Macs, you kind of have to prove to them a bit that that 35 or $20 or $15 burger is worth the extra money for that quality of ingredients, execution, flavor like the thought and the effort put into it, and all of that. And I think, given how much people are spending on beer now, like if you buy something like Brewski IPA at a store, because of the markup, it's about $9 a can for an IPA or something. So spending,
it's an entry for new customers to go into the craft scene too. It's not doing like brownies, pistachio, black velvet at 10 degrees. That we'll have Jean-Guy at the Noah party to drink a beer. It's with those kind of beer with the lager that what's easy used to drink.
It's true.
For sure.
And once you go craft, you never go back. Everybody knows that.
It's facts. I always found that like Quebec was like. Wait, you want that? You ready? You ready for this? You ready for this?
No.
I found that Quebec was like really slow to get on top of the lager trend. I felt like Ontario and the States and other regions were significantly further ahead. So I've really enjoyed seeing Quebec jump on board, and I think that actually speaks to the timing that you guys have. I think it is a great time for you guys to do this, because the market is ready. You're not like predating the market and waiting for them to catch up. You guys were already working together with these collaborations in the last few years, and now you've come up with this. I think the branding's really cool. It's super clean. It's simple. Like the Lagerbier was pretty simple as well, like very, very similar branding. So you have these
headsets.
It's a what?
It's just headsets. It's a
it's a German symbol.
Okay. What does it mean?
It's like
is it a letter?
Words.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the S? Like it's in like Strauss?
Yeah,
or whatever?
that S letters stretch up. That means a long S. Let's say it's 2S.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And
like
they only
Mosse
use in Germanic.
Or Moss.
Yeah.
But
that's why, and obvious, that's look like a B, so everybody interpreted like a B. Like everybody.
No, but obviously
Lagerbräu and not Lagerbräu. And we know about that, so we just jungle with this, and
that's cool.
Well, we haven't commented on the fact that you guys wrote adequate beer under your logo. You got to talk about that. But hold on, I got to get the Lagerbier before you talk about that.
You're on focus. Yeah. Well, we adequate. Yeah.
Why did you write that?
Well, it's just something adequate. It means that it's perfectly like doing what it's supposed to be doing. That's just what adequate means. It's doing what it needs to do. So that's it.
It seems very humble.
Yeah. And Noah, you were sorry, Craig, you were saying that the beer scene was ready for that, and maybe with some delay compared to the Ontario market or even the U.S. market. It's true in some way. Maybe there are some technical reasons. I think the beer taxes in Quebec are higher versus Ontario and obviously in the U.S. it costs more to brew beer here. There are a lot more taxes, and since lager take more time, it's like four times more, three or four times more to brew a lager. So the most of the breweries, they do lagers when they can, but when the demand is high in the summer season, they don't have time to do lagers. They will like focus their production on rapid fermenting beers that they can sell fast, and so it's I think it's one of the reasons that there are not yet many lager focused breweries, because it's a tad more expensive. Not the recipe, because the malt, the hops, it's not more expensive. It's the time, because in let's say if it takes 5 weeks to do one lager, you can literally like brew and then empty the same tank 3 times if you're doing like an ale or an IPA. So you can do 3 times more beer in the same tank. But if you do a lager, you have to let time do its thing, and that was one of the fact that we were very happy to do this at Avant-Garde, is because they have horizontal lagering tanks.
I love them.
So it's a big technical advantage for us, because the lagering process is more efficient.
I think we're saving
and
1
besides-
week with those kind of
Yeah.
tanks.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah,
That's
you
great.
can fast track a little bit.
Why is that? Is that
The
just
yeast-
because of the more surface area? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
The yeast
Yeah, it's
settles,
and it's the pressure, the
Yeah.
pressure
Oh.
of the liquid, because when you're going to another escape, don't have a lot of liquids that's fresh on one on his other,
Mhm.
so that
Oh, because it's like
kind
it's
of
yeah
technical
lower
thing.
as opposed to deeper. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I
That's
didn't know
it's
that.
technical, and I try to explain it in English. That just
That's impressive,
I
Jason.
can't
You
go wrong.
fucking,
Bro,
I don't know,
I couldn't do it in French, so.
killed it. You killed it.
Because the lagering process, it's mostly two things happening. The first thing is the
No, I want to
yeast
listen to
will-
Jason's explanation. I'm sorry.
Okay, leave it that way. I'm not trying to
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
explain you,
Yeah.
Jason. I'm sorry.
No, go on, Alex.
I'm lagersplaining
Yes.
you.
Now that's the episode name.
That's the name of the podcast.
Lagers.
Yes.
Lagers. I'm writing it down right now. That's amazing. Well done, guys.
Lagersplaining.
because
It's so good.
I think it's interesting, and not a lot of people actually knows this. The lagering process, people will think it's cold fermented, right? It is. It takes more time. Okay, right. But what actually happens during this time at
Yeah.
cold temperature? The yeast will reabsorb aromas and flavors, like let's say unwanted flavors that were like during the fermentation process. Those flavors were I don't know how to say it in English. Sorry, were
Say it in
like
French.
the yeast released. That's it. Those flavors during fermentation, and then in the lagering at cold temperature, the yeast will slowly reabsorb them, and clean the taste of the beer. So you'll have
Yeah,
more.
and you're talking about Jasen still, right?
Not only. You
Yeah.
you have like some esters, yeast aromas that you smell when the lager is very fresh. At the early steps of the lagering process, it smells like yeast, and you don't want that. So
Mm.
the yeast will reabsorb esters, and then
Like
it
fresh
will,
breads, but
yeah,
uncooked bread.
Mm.
yeah,
Mhm.
and then once it's done, the yeast will settle down, and it will like slowly by gravity it will deposit at the bottom of the tank, and then you have some breweries will choose to filter the beer to fast track this process, but it's in my sense it's better to just let the time do its magic. So our beer is not filtered in any way, but it's still it's like it's clear. It's a
Mhm.
you can see
Right
that
through it.
it looks almost like filtered,
Yeah,
but
like it's
it's
actually
only
crazy.
time and yeast settling down in at the bottom of the tank naturally. And then you're right, Jason, to mention the acetyl. It's another, let's say, off flavor.
Mm.
Uh, I put like how do you call these?
Like quotations.
Yeah, cool.
Quotations.
Yeah, off flavors,
Mm.
because in some styles it's okay to have, let's say in a Scotch ale it's okay to have some diacetyl. In a lager you can have a little bit. It's on style to have a little bit, but the threshold is, it's a very fine balance, and we don't have all the same perception level of this flavor compound.
Mm.
So we wanted to be obviously as clean as possible, but to be on style, you still need like, and the lager yeast will produce a very few, and in the lagering process, it will clean, but
And it's take
in
longer time in
yeah,
lagering to clean the diacetyl. So there's a lot of fast-tracked lagers that taste a lot of diacetyl. So
Mm.
yeah.
that's not
If you
that's
ferment it
our
too
that's
fast,
our point of no diacetyl. And Olivier's not there, but Ollie's like super
yeah,
hypersensitive to diacetyl.
yeah.
So
He
you
more
just
than more
semi
than us.
smell it and say no, ça marche pas,
Yeah.
ça marche pas, ça marche pas.
Because if
And
there
he's
is
stressed out and say little diacetyl, it's just not work.
That's
because
amazing.
in my perception, and it's very personal, but a very little touch of the acetyl in a lager can improve the malt profile, and the also the beer appears more round a little bit, even though it's not that sweet.
Mm. Mm.
You get just a more complete flavor profile, but it needs to be very 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 low,
Yes,
and it's
and
it's easy
for
to,
those at home who don't know what diacetyl
Oh
is,
yeah.
it's an aftertaste that's smell and taste like butter, but the
Mhm.
old side of butter. Like in
Yeah.
French we say it's beurre rance. I don't know what the
A
how
lot
we
of
can
people say
translate
popcorn,
that
buttered
kind,
popcorn,
Mm.
yeah,
Like fake
but
butter.
yeah,
like fake
faint,
butter.
this
Yeah,
yeah,
yellow
but
faint
yellow
butter,
stuff, you
yeah.
scratch the bag of the popcorn and it
Yeah.
smells like fake butter.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
Exactly.
the acetyl,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
and
but
it's
and
but I
and
think
that's an
like
off
I think Jason
flavor, but
nailed it though too. Like if you leave butter out for too long without like
mhm,
covering it, or it just sits on your counter for let's say a couple days too long,
yeah.
you smell that, like whatever happens to it as
It's
it
a milky,
oxidizes, it changes.
yeah. It's
It's unique though. Like it doesn't smell like spoiled milk. It doesn't smell like spoiled cream. It has its
yeah.
own thing.
It's the switch between a butter and a cheese, and
Yeah.
it's starting of it, but it's not on the good side.
No,
yeah,
that sounds gross.
and
Yeah.
and this is
So does
one.
that mean you also like putting cream cheese in your lagers?
Yeah,
Okay, I'm leaving.
obvious.
Alex is gonna slap me.
Or goat cheese? They did, goat cheese have all. You know how
Yeah,
many beers have had cheeses in them when we think about it? Okay, so the Masorum did a goat cheese.
Goat milk.
Brewski's done cream cheese. People fucking throwing lactose in like it's
Team
fucking
lactose.
dollar bills. But then this
Yeah,
one guy, he put
I think
fucking
what we will
buttermilk
do
in a beer, in a
is
saison. Even.
A
Uh,
buttermilk.
crazy.
I remember
we
that
will
guy.
do
Buttermilk
a mozzarella.
saison,
We will
yo.
do a mozzarella
Yeah, man.
out of our lager.
There you go. That's how you do it. Mozzarella lager. Yeah, that buttermilk saison was really great lactose beer. Just a fantastic lactose beer. I remember
I actually
Alex.
really liked that beer.
it was great.
Fucking awesome.
But you know,
I really liked
it's one of the aspects
So next week,
of the recipe.
Mickelsen's there.
Ooh, savage.
That's interesting to talk about this thing that can be considered as enough flavor when it's too much, but will improve the taste of the beer when it's kept very very low, you know. And this is one of the reasons why I love lagers so much. I love brewing them because it's a very technical and very you know, there's so many parameters and things that you need to tune to improve the beer, but it's you can't like crank it to 11 and just wish that it will be good. You can, you know, not that IPAs are easy to brew, but you want it to taste like hops. Like you crank it to 11 and it's going to be super hoppy and it's okay. But in lagers, it's like everything needs to be in perfect balance and everything needs to improve the other flavors without overstepping each other's.
Yeah.
So it's something that we're and yeah, as a brewer, it's very like interesting to work on a lager recipe and trying to improve it. And I mentioned it in another podcast in French, but I said that it's like changing a word in a sentence to improve a chapter of a book, you know. So you change one word at a time and you try to tweak it and at the end you get a better book, and that's the way I see it, you know, making little tweaks.
You didn't say word,
and
you said comma. It's like changing a comma in a
Yeah.
sentence.
You're right. You change
That's
the
great.
comma and yeah.
I like that a lot.
And it's something that Olivier and I enjoy. We were brewing together, you know, in the last years, and this summer we even homebrewed together. It was it was nice for me to being back to homebrewing, like since 15 years. I bought actually a quite nice stainless conical
aristocratic
tanks.
craft brew, home brew.
Yeah.
It's quite an expensive kit you bought, guys.
Yeah.
Aristocrat.
Like, nothing against that, but I didn't want to brew in plastic buckets.
That's kind
You know,
of
I
home brew
wanted
with a
to-
monoc.
Yeah, no.
Aristocratic homebrewing. That's fucking amazing.
You know, after 30 years, I
Oh.
to
Sorry,
brew
Alex.
in something decent.
I
you
think
know?
Alex, you need to buy a monocle. You got to get a monocle
Ooh.
Yeah, I can.
just for the joke.
So, speaking of aristocratic, have you heard of this new trend?
Smoothie lagers.
It's to really get the mouth feel of a lager, and I'm not kidding you. Check this out. You need to use a straw. Okay, so
For real? I have some straws.
and so this way you don't get the aroma. It's not your nose that, so all your taste buds will really get the. I'm just shitting.
I was about to get a straw.
I was gonna say this reminds me of a
Don't-
Baltic
don't-
Porter
don't drink your
perfume.
lagers with a straw. I'm just shitting you.
You almost had this.
I was thinking about this. Oh, a yerba mate straw?
You could sell that.
Well,
Lager
no,
straws.
My daughter's
Lager straw.
Christmas straw.
No, yerba mate straw is for a smoothie.
Yeah.
Just
Ooh.
drinking the beer.
I might try that later. That's a great idea. This Pilsner, by the way, this is a genuinely fantastic Pilsner. I love it. Noah,
Yeah,
you had.
Thanks.
And
That's
you know, I was looking forward to this podcast, obviously, because hanging with you guys is a lot of fun. But I never get to sit here and just drink the same beer casually in a row. I never get to do that because of what we do, and I imagine Noah's probably the same. So this is like a genuine pleasure. And Alex, you probably won't believe me, but if I had to choose, I would drink a lager over any other style at all times. So I very much align with what you're doing. I'm crazy. I've changed, bro. I've grown. So
I believe you, man.
okay, good. I don't want to think I'm saying it just to say it, but I was very much looking forward to it. Noah had I had the Lagerbier, obviously, maybe a few weeks ago when it came out. That was the first beer. That was fantastic. I think, Noah, you just cracked that one. Now
Yeah,
about to?
And you didn't have a good beer. You have
I did.
The end of the row.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
true.
a little bit yeasty.
Yeah. But it was great. It was really good, guys. Like, I really enjoyed it. The next batch, I know you were talking about it before. The next batch is coming up, so maybe I'll request. I'll see if I can get a can from the middle of the line.
Yeah, we will.
All right, y'all. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped. It's the holiday season, and you don't know what to get as a gift or stocking stuffer? Well, today's sponsor, Manscaped, has the tools to guarantee you win this year's stocking stuffer or white elephant competition. Manscaped is a leader in men's below-the-waist grooming, and they have served more than 4 million men worldwide. If my math is correct, that's almost 8 million balls. Get 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com in the code BAOS. Now, basically, look, I use Manscaped. I'm actually rather itchy right now because I haven't used it for a couple of weeks and I need to sort my whole situation. I'm gesturing to my chest here because, I trim. I keep my shit trimmed. I keep it all trimmed up, you know the vibes. Now, Manscaped's best-selling product is the Performance Package 4.0, which is at the top of every man's wish list this year. Inside, you'll find their lawnmower body trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body, and the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Very important. But let's not forget their famous liquid formulations, a Crop Preserver ball deodorant and Crop Reviver ball toner to maximize your ball hygiene routine. Get the Performance Package now to receive their 2 free gifts. 2. The Manscaped boxes and the Shed travel bag. I have both are fire. The dads can't stop talking about it. The teens secretly buy it, and the women will love you for it. Now, these are our picks for Manscaped Surefire Win stocking stuffers. Number 1, the Manscaped 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner just launched. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Very easy. Number 2, the Manscaped Cologne Infused Body Wash. Number 3, Shears 2.0 Luxury 4-piece Nail Kit. Number 4, Crop Mops Ball Wipes. I love this idea for your stanky balls. Number 5, Manscaped Signature Cologne. Their formulations are all vegan, cruelty-free, dye-free, sulfate-free, and paraben-free, so you know their products are legit. Make sure you hurry to the site to ensure these wild gifts show up before the holiday season, which is really soon. While you're at it, get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with the code BAOS. Check it out. It's up on screen here. Now, whether this is for your partner, dad, brother, friend, get them something that they will actually use and is almost sure to get a laugh. Get 20% off and free shipping. I'm spitting, I'm so passionate. At manscaped.com with the code BAOS. Be the ballsiest gift giver this year with Manscaped. Now let's get back to the show. Noah, do you want to just maybe tell me what, because you're drinking it right now, we're all still on the Pilsner, do you want to maybe just give us some of the tasting notes from the Lagerbier?
Yeah, it's interesting because the Pilsner actually, correct me if I'm wrong here, but after drinking the Pils and then going right to the Lagerbier, it's a bit, it doesn't quite have the same mouthfeel. The Pilsner has it's a bit rounder. Mm-hmm. Maybe the Lagerbier is a bit more acidic. Is that possible? Slightly?
Maybe because of the hops profile, it's more
sharper kind of
bitterness. Yeah, it's more sharp. It's almost twice less residual sugars. So the Lagerbier
it's drier too.
Lagerbier is sweeter.
Oh,
definitely sweeter.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
That would
So,
add up because
yeah,
pilsners are typically dry and grassy and not particularly
Yeah,
sweet, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
The
but
lager beer
the
is
lager beer,
there's more.
lager beer is just it's just a word that means nothing.
I was
Just
going
word
to
that
ask,
means
what is it?
that's a beer and that's a lager. So I can do a lager beer and it was black or je continue puis c'est ça. Or a red beer. It's like Lagerbräu. It's like our word.
Hmm.
It's just say
Brau
brau. It's
means brew.
brewery, brewers, and lager. It's lager. And lager. It's beer. So
No,
it's yeah.
brau
We
is
brew beer.
yeah.
I like
What
it.
does
Brew in
yeah?
German
What the
is
points? So,
Be a
yeah, you brew
brewery.
beer.
Be a brewery, yeah.
We brew.
but it's like
But what's the
unibrew,
point?
you know, unibrew.
That's
It
true.
doesn't like mean
Single
and
beer.
and brau in German it's the same as the word in English brew brew.
Mhm.
So it's a lager brew.
Mm.
That's
So,
yeah.
lager beer as a style, is it a specific thing or is it more of just like
It's not specific. It's not
No?
specific. It's just a word, and
It-
and that's one of those things that that I discovered. I think the other people was there discovered that when you go to keller beer, Lagerbier, Volbeer, all those things that we put in a case and we think that's it's a style like a BCGP style
Yeah,
ish,
yeah.
very accidental thing that we put in a case and
Yeah.
that's supposed to taste this and this and this. When we go to those places, everybody do their beer. And when we go to one village or the other village and the other brewers and the brewers at the other side of the street, they all do some killer beer and lager beer. And we've got the killer beer, the one at Artleb was on the red side of the killer, and the other one was on the goldish side, and the black side. And more on the grassy ups, more on
Yeah.
the malty feel, and so what's the point? It's just we're just drinking beer, and
They don't give fancy names to their
they,
beers,
they
you
don't
know.
give a fuck.
When
They give a
you
fuck about the beer that they brew, but not about the name they put
they
on the
don't give
beer they
names.
brew.
Right.
They don't give names. They just call it the beer. So when you sit there, so what you gonna drink? I'm going to drink the beer. Okay, so
I want a
here,
beer.
have a
Okay,
beer.
cool.
So
Have a beer.
it's there's
Okay.
That's it.
there's something very heartwarming for me in the simplicity of things, yet uh, yet being perfected to almost like as much as possible. You know, it's simple yet perfect. It's
Hmm.
something that I love, absolutely love. You know, and it's yeah, and the term lager beer is just something that we saw a lot in most of the breweries in Franconia, uh, because yeah, so they have a beer on the menu and it's a lager,
It's a
so they
lager.
call it a lager beer, and that's it.
Right. So it's not
Yeah.
it's brewed however the fuck they want it. A Keller beer can look
Yeah.
all different ways. A lager beer can be
So-
anything. So it's okay.
Yeah,
And you go
So-
to the for those lambic fan, you go to a Piatoland and you bought a Gers or a lambic or those things.
Yeah.
They don't give them it's a it's a lambic from Tilquin, it's a lambic from Boone, it's a lambic from you go to those places and you know those producer, and it's the same thing there. It's the producer, and if Silo or Hildegarde or anybody else do a lager beer, ben, it's not competition. It's just everybody's doing their beer. If it's the is lager beer is more like a red ale-ish side. Advient que pourra. That's it. There's no problem.
C'est la vie.
Everybody's living, everybody's doing their beer, and
Yeah.
if the customer want, that's where I was going before I turned the left side. If the customer can recognize, can know that Lagerbräu, Lagerbier tastes that, and can think about what the Lagerbier at Gaouette tastes. For me, it's something we win. We have win because that's something that important that they know we've got a personality, we've got a grain bill that say I open a Dunham and I know exactly that I'm opening a Dunham, and that's
The
what we
character.
want to do with lagers. That if you pop up a lager from Lagerbier and you know that's a lager from Lagerbräu, that's for me that's something that really important and that really hard to achieve.
I don't know. I feel like Alex has a taste.
What do you mean?
The taste?
Tasting. I don't know. I just feel like I've tasted Alex across 3 breweries now.
You've had Alex all up in your mouth.
I've had Alex in
Dans ta bouche. You know, I feel you.
Many times.
Many.
So you're
well,
so
in particular, the lagers
let's not go there.
The lagers that you were doing
brought you by
before, and then these ones, there's something.
Good throwback.
There's a commonality there. Is what I'll say.
Yeah. That's a good point, though.
Yeah, I think so.
You're getting there.
Jason
I guess
made a comparison with burgers earlier, but maybe I can do a comparison with a writer, a book writer. In the early, the first few books that a writer writes, and then in his career, his style will evolve, but you can still recognize like Stephen King from his early work, and now what he's writing it's still like his style, So maybe as a brewer,
he's not writing.
I'm not like.
And there's Stephen King, the cocaine period of his writing. You really want to talk about Stephen King?
But I'm not alone in this. Jason obviously is not a brewer, but Olivier
obviously.
Olivier, we're a team, like we're brewing together, and we build this recipe together. So I think I was bringing my writing history, let's say it like that. And Olivier, we were like having a lot of fun brewing together because it was always like a conversation, a never-ending conversation of like, how can we perfect this? How can we do this? And it was always like super constructive, and I think I'm a better brewer now because of him, and I think he's a better brewer now because of me, and we are both better brewer because of Jason.
It comes down to Jason.
Even though he's not a brewer, he's like bringing this outsider ideas sometimes, because when you're like in as a brewer, when you're only thinking as a brewer, sometimes you forget to think as a customer or a store owner, and Jason brings that to the discussion, and it's a very interesting dynamic. I like it a lot. I love
it. You want to say it? There you go. That's what I want to hear. I wanted to say as well that with all of that context, last year my favorite beer of 2020 was your food aged lager. It was just the most spectacular thing I've had in quite some time. I can't express how much I love that beer. So I was obviously due to that beer alone. I think everyone, Jason, you feel the same way there. I know Noah was loving it too, and
Yeah, I love that beer. Well, also the Keller that you guys did and the Dunkel, like they were all in the same caliber. Those three were so much fun.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah, you just knocked it out of the park. So obviously, when I saw that you three were teaming up on this project, I was very excited because I was like, wow, they get to really focus on the beers, the one that they're most passionate about, and that they arguably do the best. I mean, people might appreciate, obviously you've done all, you name it, you've done it all over the years. But this is where, if everyone's been listening for the last hour or so, they've heard how passionate you guys are, and that trip to Germany and Czech Republic was very important for you. Moving forward, I don't know, Noah kind of touched on this earlier, and I don't know how much you can sort of speak on it because it is really early days in this project that is moving in a slower, trajectory than the rest of what you've done in the past, intentionally so. But, could people who have maybe had that food aged lager and things like that, and your Dunkel and your Lagerbier and all these really amazing things that you've done that people know you guys for, can people expect? Are you looking to do things like that? Like whether it's at Avant-Garde or in future? I know I'm kind of asking a larger picture, but more for selfishly, I just want to know: are you guys going to do stuff? Are you planning to do things like that? These food age things and these just like.
I have a very simple answer. 2 words. Fuck yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear.
We will. We will.
Yes.
We will.
And we won't.
Well, it's
Jason.
something that I
need.
I wanted.
We need.
Yeah, it's something
need
that
those beer too.
I feel you.
I wanted to like go back to wood lagering as soon as I can, but the timing and right now at Avant-Garde was not perfect for them because they don't have space anymore. They can't put food there, and it's they don't have a cold room. Very
And
big
we don't
one,
want a
so we
fourth
can
thing. So if it's next year, it will be next year.
Yeah.
If it's not next
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
we will try to that be next year.
And there's it's totally possible that we will keep doing, let's say, those 2 beers, the 2 regular lagers at Avant-Garde, the Lagerbier and the Pilsner, and maybe the wood lagers will be done
In
elsewhere.
another place, if we have to.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
That's the
So
meaning
we-
of being a gypsy.
Yeah.
we move.
I like how that term just eventually changed, right?
Yeah.
It's like
We
at some
move.
point someone caught on, like this shit sounds offensive to gypsies, but whatever. Gypsy brewer.
Yeah.
Who was the main gypsy brewer? Wasn't there like a really famous
It
gypsy
was
brewer?
McKellar.
It was McKellar.
McKellar.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so that is pretty, and that's a good point though, because you probably could, whether, like, I don't know what the rules are if you brew it at Avant-Garde and then take the wort or whatever and then age it elsewhere or however it works. But I guess it does, in the meantime, you can get creative then and work with different partners, brewing partners, to be able to, who can accommodate what you want, to be able to continue to give the market, whether it's, like you guys were saying, you are refining the recipes of a Lagerbier, pills, or trying to do some wood. I mean, do you have, I guess, tell me what you can say here, but do you have another, the next couple styles that maybe you'll come out with? Like, do you have any idea of what you guys are, or can you say what you're planning to do?
So we as I mentioned, the Lagerbier and the Pilsner are going to be our 2 regular year-long available beers, and we'll have seasonals and the first one is going to be released in February, and since it's obviously a winter month, we felt like it was the right time to do maybe a little stronger and fuller bodied lager, and yet
And the
not
lager
something.
size, so it's like 5.5.
Woof. Whoa. Slow down.
No. No,
It's
but,
bolder.
yeah. No. It's so we'll do so it's called a Vol beer, VOLL. Vol beer.
Vol
So
beer.
the word vol means full. So it's a full beer. And in Germany it's just used to designate a
It's just for
fuller,
taxes.
tastier. Sorry.
No joke.
Just for taxes.
It's just for taxes. It's the same
also,
thing that
you're
in
right.
Canada we've got
Hmm.
bière forte, extra forte, puis extra forte.
You're right.
It's the same thing. It's
Right.
Vol beer just for taxes.
Oh, just for taxes.
Yeah. So,
So
it's going
what's
to
your
be,
Vol? Is it like span a color spectrum, or is
Yeah,
it always
here's-
like look like a lighter
no,
colored
it's going to
lager?
be, not
Like
that
copper?
dark, but yeah, you're
Yeah.
Okay.
like Greg is showing it. It's
Like a Oktoberfest
emberish, like
Almost like a Vienna type of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's but it's not necessarily as caramel.
Yeah, because those fuckers in Vienna don't want to pay taxes.
Tight asses.
So they don't call it Vol beer. I don't
Bastard.
know. Just-
Those motherfuckers.
I'm sure you got it right, Jason.
I've never heard of a Vol beer. This is fascinating.
I'd
Yeah,
never
I
heard
think,
that term either.
La Mer à Boire does one. I'm
there's
pretty sure.
not a lot.
Not a lot?
There's even even in Franconia, we haven't tasted a lot of Vol beer.
No.
Mm.
But it was not the right
They
time
don't
of the
do
year,
this.
Oh, because you went in summer, and it's probably a spring beer, like you were saying, a winter
Yeah.
spring.
I think it's more a winter. It's a winter lager. It's fuller. It's roundier. It's not very caramelly, but it's just like more more malty, a little bit more
Bold
high.
beer.
I think it's like 6 ABV instead of 5. But we'll see, and we're probably
It's a light
with
beer
the
in
malts.
Belgium.
Light beer.
Light beer in Belgium. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was
But
a...
the thing is, in Germany, you need to be able to like to drink like
See,
11 of
After
those.
3 beer, if you're
Right.
drunk, this beer is too strong.
And
Um,
and then we'll see. We have ideas for more seasonal, but we'll have to see down the road. Because the guys at Avant-Garde were really like honest with us that in the summertime it's going to be more difficult for us to do lagers because of the time and the fact that the production in the summer is it's more intense. So we'll probably try to build some inventory in the springtime.
Yeah.
And then we'll see
I have
for the seasonals.
I really want to do a Radler, and that's not a joke.
Really?
That's really not a joke.
It's something else.
Radler's German style. It's
But
lager
is it
with
really?
juice fruit.
Good craft.
Yeah,
Radler.
the Radler's for cyclists in Germany. And
Were they called Radlers? Is that where the term
Yeah.
comes from? You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
Interesting.
I just want to do a
I have
good
no idea.
Radler. And
But a craft Radler,
Yeah.
a well-made
yeah,
Radler.
Right.
Well, and
I mean, why not?
But with,
Well, I mean, if you look at
with regular juice.
Berliner Weiss, right? Berliner Weiss was a sour base, and they would put the syrup in, right? And you'd mix it up.
Yeah.
or what-
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're
syrup.
like doing.
Yeah.
I know Radler's not syrup, but it's like the logic is
juice,
the same.
the
That you're
fruit
adding
juice, it's
a
a
sugar
mix.
product.
it's a
yeah.
cocktail. It's a mixed beer
Yeah.
with a juice and a lager, just to quench. And but
I like
at
it.
2,
I think you should
2
do it.
or
But maybe
2.5.
Hey,
A smoothie one, maybe?
It's your
Smoothie one?
answer to the smoothie. I mean, it's essentially what it is, right? I
Really?
mean, like
Smoothie
you're
Rattler.
doing your.
Let's go.
Well, no. What I
Our
mean is
collabo,
a
our
smoothie
collabo with Mr.
is.
M. This will be a Smoothie Rattler.
But so maybe
You
what
hear
we'll
it
And
do
at
seltzer.
BAOS.
Premiering
what
it.
we'll do is do some co-branding with the craft juice company, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we'll
Yeah, for
take
sure.
their can and our can, and just like duct tape them together and do your own mix.
I like that. The first time I had that was at Helm. They did like a Berliner and they just like poured the syrup in. I was like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? And they go, no, this is what it is. I was like, wow, this is kind of fun. I like that.
Yeah.
I heard of a new lager type. I was in Prince Edward County last week, and Matron made this beer called a Zoigel Beer.
Yeah.
Have you heard of those? Yeah, Zoigl.
Zwickel
Yeah,
beer.
it's-
It's
it's-
what?
Not Zwickel,
Oh,
Zoigl?
Zoigel beer.
Yeah, have you heard of that?
It's if I'm correct, it's one of the it's very similar to a keller beer, but I think it's maybe uncarbonated. I'm not quite sure, but it's supposed to be poured like
Uncarbonated.
fresh from the
it's
the
like my
fermenting tank.
my other trend with the
Okay.
Ongenspundet.
Yeah, Ungespundet, yeah, because it's actually a thing in Germany. Some customers ask for beers that are basically flat.
Why?
Okay.
I'm not sure the North
Why?
American palate is quite ready for that.
Like cask? Is it like cask or something?
That's
Or
fucking weird, bro.
Yeah, probably similar. Probably the German interpretation.
It's
of,
like
of that.
it's like Perlin wine. It's not a dead juice. Yeah, you've got some dose bubble, but it's not a
right.
Pepsi bubble or it's just
Subtle.
smooth bubble.
Okay.
Mhm.
I guess I'm only asking because you're doing that. You talked about the Volt beer, and then when you said that, I was like, "Yo, I heard about this weird ass style of beer recently." Because Matron in Prince Edward County does all sorts of random. They do something called a land beer, and I remember when I went there, and I had to ask him like, "Yo, what the fuck is this? Like, I'm gonna take it, but what is it?" So
Land beer, it's just for beer from the land,
right, so it's like simple,
like that.
local, right? So it sounds
It's a
like
saison.
a saison?
Farmhouse sale or something.
okay.
Beer fermière.
Mm. So then, like, are you guys looking to, maybe, I was about to say revive is not really the word, excuse me, but like, maybe introduce some of these more lesser known styles to the Quebec market, being that, a Vol beer, I've literally never heard of it until 10 minutes ago, until you said it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's completely on brand for you guys to do these maybe more obscure, but they're not really that different, like you were saying. It's kind of like,
But obviously, yes, it's a good trend for us to work with those kind of product and style. But like we said with the Lagerbier and all those kind of style, it's not a style. So it's always to be decontract about that and just to say that just some
And-
words
it's just words
on
on the can.
containers and beer in it and drink the beer. The beer's good. Fine, man. That's it. It's just,
I'm with it.
and we also we have to be like real about the fact that it needs to sell. Like I'm personally I'm craving like a Rauch beer. I love them, but even I wouldn't drink that like 5 days a week. I love them every now and then. And so and then on the on the shelves you go in any like craft beer store, you don't find a lot of Rauch beer, and the reason is most of the breweries that tried that realized that it's sad to say, but it's not selling or almost not selling, and it's sad because in my sense, smoky beers are one of the best style to pair with some food, some stuff, like cheese or some meats, and there's so many things that you can pair like smoky beers with, but they're like the forgotten kid of the
The beer
lager
world.
styles.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There-
but
What about if
think
you like
Silo
just duct
released
tape
one.
a bunch of cheese to the can and sell it?
That'll work.
But here,
I'll
here's your
buy that.
combination.
Just shut up.
This is what you gotta eat your cheese, drink your smoked beer, and
taking
shut the
notes
fuck
here.
up.
I'm taking notes.
Take notes. You
But
can
yeah,
do it
Or
at the
you, or
Gaouette.
better yet, you could just ferment the beer with the cheese inside of it.
And buttermilk. Lactose.
Well, that would
Oh
be
boy.
the cheese
Let's
would
But
have
go.
lactose.
I think I'd love to see more smoky beers on the shelves. We'll see if this ever comes back in some kind of way. I know that Silo released one a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was very good.
Yeah, I haven't.
And,
They sent it to
dude,
me.
I taste it.
It's right
I tasted
here.
at Vice Versa yesterday. Man, that was so good.
What's
Yeah.
it called? Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah. What's it called?
See the smoke.
Soriol?
It's Soriol.
Oh, okay.
Soriol.
I just saw JP came by today and he didn't give me that one, probably because he knew I wouldn't like it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of
GP is such a
the-
good lager brewer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man,
we-
it's so good.
Speaking of that,
And this
actually,
guy here, which is a Buckbeer Sauvé. Did you
The
try
Buck,
this?
yes.
Jason?
I just got that today.
Nope.
I got that one.
Nope.
I'm excited to try that.
Definitely. And speaking of someone like Silo, I mean, now that like in a place like Quebec, we're very fortunate now. You guys mentioned a whole bunch of different breweries tonight that we're that are doing some really fantastic lagers and stuff. Are you guys considering? I imagine so, but are you considering doing any collaborations in this earlier stage? Before you sort of move to your next level where you set up the whole keller and all that stuff. Are you looking at doing any collabs at all?
Do you want the same two words that last time?
Just
Fuck
say
yeah.
it. Just yes. Is there?
Yeah,
any...
we already had some talks. With
Fuck yeah!
Wow.
Oh, it's podcasting.
Wow,
Bro.
indeed.
Jason's a whole other level.
Yeah. So we
That's
have
amazing.
a plan. I won't reveal the brewery's name just yet, but we have a plan to do a land beer as a collaboration. So a land beer is basically a type of lager brewed with local ingredients.
It's a farm beer. It's a farm lager.
Yeah, it's a farm lager. So I'll let you try and guess maybe.
Ooh.
But we had a very 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 good lager in a farm brewery this summer in September, and our beer was not even released yet, and we had a talk with the brewer, and I was like, we need to do a collabo with you, and he was like, yeah, sure, and we need to talk with him soon, but we'll try to go see him. It's quite a long drive, but we'll try to brew this maybe this winter to release in the spring. We'll see. And then we have another idea. Again, I won't reveal the brewery's name because it's not done yet. But we had some discussion with a bigger craft brewery. So this one is more experimental, but it won't be a pure lager, but it's going to be
We will lagering a kind of yeast that not supposed to be lagering.
No. But you obviously you know, I used to brew a lot with Gaouette yeast, and this is something I like a lot, and so there are different strains of Gaouette, and
That's a
some
crisp like
are
now. Yeah.
some are lager likes because they don't develop yeasty notes, and so you can brew an almost lager with a Vike, and if you work this, at lower temperature, just on the verge of, on the fermentation specs of this yeast, and then if you do a proper lagering, a cold like for many weeks, something we want to try and if it's not that brewery for some reason, if it doesn't work with that brewery, we'll try to do a project like that.
Okay, it's a grimoire. We'll see it. We'll see it.
Anyone outside of Quebec won't understand that joke, but that is if you're in Quebec, that is
And
funny.
Granby.
You know, hometown.
My homie.
Something I will try.
Did you guys? I didn't have a chance to try them, but did Pat at Sutton brewed a few lagers last year, right?
Yeah.
He did a Keller beer and a Dunkel.
Yeah.
I think exactly what
Yep.
you guys did with Gaouette. I didn't get a chance to try them. How were they? Like, how did the did the Brett stay clean? Did it have a character, or was it just like very much a Pat beer that
It was a Pat beer.
A Pat beer, yeah.
It was a Pat beer.
Which is always kind of perfect.
The Dunkel Brett was more like a Dunkel's, but the killer beer and all those more classics lagers they do with the Bretts. It's always he put all the case.
He checks
in the melt. Yeah, no, it's just mais in the melt. That's a Pat beers. That's a beer that Pat Roy do, and that's freaking good beer. But for me, that's not that kind of lager that I want. But I'm pretty happy, and he's a good brewers, and I'm really happy that he made this kind of experiment, because if he didn't do, who will do it? So nobody will do this. So just for the science, I'm freaking happy that he did it.
I feel like he's the only one doing what he does in the world almost. Like, are there any other breweries that you know of that like brew almost exclusively with Brett, but aren't like a American sour type brewery?
Not a lot.
Not that I can think of.
Maybe there's a lot, but they don't do it for consciemment. That they have some Brett in their brew house and they don't know it. So they're doing it, but they don't really know that they're doing it.
Hey, is that what your Grimoire collab's about?
No comment.
Oh, let me just I need a gunshot.
I think Pat explained that his Brett lagers are very evolutive. If you taste them fresh, and if you taste them 6 months later, and it's totally like it's voluntary. And I think I had his keller. You call that the keller bear, like a bear, BEAR. And so it's a killer beer with Brett, and I had it fresh, and it's very good. I liked it a lot. The Brett is subtle, but adds a lot of complexity, and it's his touch. We were speaking earlier of house character, and Southern
What's what the
Brewery.
difference in the mouth between that kind of beer and a grisette or a
Right.
light season? It's it, for my mouth. There's always challenging about this. See,
Yeah.
so yeah, I know. You lagering, you do all the things that you should do for having this result, but in the mouth, just call it grisette, and it was, but
Mhm.
it's
Did you have it
it's-
fresh? Because when it was fresh, it was maybe more lager like with a tad of breath, and
I will say
maybe
no.
as the
Just
bread
for giving you
evolves,
the reasons, I will say no.
yeah. No,
You
it's
can
because
see.
and he explained it. Pat explained that the beer is very evolutive, and the bread character will evolve over time, and
Yeah.
this is something that's it's very it's true with bread, but it's true with most of beer styles. You know, even our so the Lagerbier was released a little bit more than a month ago, early November, and it's yeah, it's already evolving. It's still very
Yeah, and
good, but it's a tad less fresh. You know, some malt notes are more present, and the hops are starting to fade a little bit. It's not like uh, it's still very good, but it's just different, and beer is evolving, and it's totally normal in a market that you know if you want if you like beers that are super fresh, try to get them when they're just released. But most of the imported lager that we have here, you know, from Europe, they were like brewed like 4 to 6 months ago. So it's
Yeah.
very rare that we taste fresh lagers, and this is a comment I have got some quite some time, uh, especially with pilsners. When people taste them fresh, they're like, "Oh, that's not the taste of a pilsner I'm used to." Okay, right, but the pilsner you're used to have maybe 4 to 6 months of travel in a boat, you know, in a container, then in a warehouse, then in a truck, and so it's never fresh. So
Mhm.
you're tasting a fresh pilsner, and the hops are more, you know, and when you taste them there, you know, in the breweries in Germany or in Czech Republic, they're way more hoppier than what we're used to because they're super
yeah,
fresh. The hops are there.
yeah.
The bitterness is greener.
I
You
was
know,
I was shocked.
it's
In Praia, I was shocked.
yeah.
When I taste at Vinodraski and other place like that, when you taste a pilsner, fresh, man, it
It
was
there. So
flowered. It's better, man.
it's pretty
I was
much
shocked.
a Saz. It's a Saz IPA almost, you know,
Nice.
with a
Interesting.
very good malt
Mm,
profile.
Yo, that's a cool way to position that, to be honest. And I can visualize that. Like
Yeah,
that shit was just made, and they're in those, like you were describing, those underground kellers with the, you know, the earth providing the coolness and everything, and it just, and do you know what's interesting about that time is that you got, I remember very specifically following you guys on Facebook and looking forward to all the photos, because it wasn't just you guys, it was your group of people, and then there was, like, I think JP from Silo, and then there was all these other people around the same time from either Quebec or
yeah.
Ontario that made these pilgrimages to Germany and the Czech Republic. And I think since
thanks
that
to
trip,
Martin Thibault.
it was his idea. Oh, because he got the
Yeah.
deal with
Thanks
the.
to
Yeah.
Martin Thibault, le coureur des bois. It was
It's all his fault.
he is the guy who bring us there at
Okay, because it was with the Czech
He-
government,
time.
right? It was with, like, the governments, like the Czech
No,
government.
no, no, no,
no,
no, no. It
no, no,
is
No.
no, no.
Not at
Oh,
all.
he's just,
It was just
He had a thing going on. He was like, "Let's all go."
he's just the Gandalf of our fellowship, you know. And the ring is the
It's the Pilsner.
the ring is the lager. You know. We need to. Oh boy,
I have to make.
such a great guy. Martin. Sorry.
I have to start a podcast with Jason.
Yeah,
Okay, so then that explains it. But it seemed like
that would be the best podcast ever.
we should talk, Jason. But I feel like we could do
one
some.
lager to rule
God.
them all.
Just be drinking Crispies and miscommunicating in different languages.
Oh,
It's beautiful.
just picking on each other.
Wow.
That era though, like that year, the 2019 trip when you guys did it, there was I'm having a mind block now who it was, but there was other folks in Ontario, and I feel like it changed the landscape of this Eastern Canadian, or I just passed my citizenship test, so I learned this is called Central Canada. Did you know that Ontario was Upper Canada and Quebec was Lower Canada, and they had a thing, it was called the Province of Canada.
Yeah.
Did you fucking know that?
Yeah.
I didn't fucking know that. I learned that
Yeah,
last
yeah.
week. Oh, you guys knew that? Okay, well, I learned that last week. I got 20 out of 20.
I learned that
Yeah, that's why the
20
brewery
out of
is called
20.
I think my
Canada.
kids at 12 years old know that.
Okay, you know that. Well, everybody I asked about it who was Canadian didn't have a clue, and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is crazy shit. Anyways,
Yeah.
so
Stop
yeah,
hanging out with stupid people.
I bet. I'm going to take your advice and we're going to hang out more, Jason. Yeah, I feel like just like that trip, it just really was very influential to the regions, to the breweries of the region. I feel like, once again, Quebec seemed to be slightly behind Ontario because they might have been doing it beforehand, but I feel like that trip influenced so many people, and that's why we just have this plethora of fantastic lagers right now here in Quebec, specifically, if you want to talk about Quebec.
Yeah.
It's pretty damn cool that, you know, all these just brewers were just already interested in it because you know, Alex specifically, you were already making great lagers, you know, in multiple breweries that you were at, and now you've gone and taken all of these lessons, applied it to that, and now you're able to apply it to a whole new business that's based around it. And I think as consumers, we're spoiled for the range of great lagers that we have out here. And you guys are just adding to that in Quebec and bringing this whole new perspective with the three of you, the way you described it before, with you and Ollie being the creative masterminds, and then Jason bringing in his really unique perspective from the consumer side and his taste and everything. It's just like, I think it's a really great time, and it's also, as I think Jason pointed out before, like, it's the gateway beer too. So not only are the craft beer nerds satiated by these fucking fantastic lagers, but now there's an opportunity to bring in a whole bunch of new people who are Budweiser drinkers or Laurentide or whatever it is over to craft beer, knowing that it's all local and that these guys that grew up in the same areas of them made this really great beer. It's just, I feel like it's just a really exciting time to be a beer drinker in Quebec, and it's, you know, you guys are really contributing to that. You already have contributed to that, but it's about to be a different,
Yeah, well,
I love it.
Yeah, that's what we want, man. We want to improve the beer scene any way we can, and if
The
our
lager
modest
game.
contribution is like, and if more breweries are improving their lager game, you know, it's the more the better. And it's
Yep.
yeah,
Step up your lager game, bro.
That's what it's about.
And it's true. It's a gateway beer, but I think it's important to say that it's not also an anti IPA or anti
Not at all.
tea beer. It's not. We're not positioning this against.
When you say
the-
anti, that's the Japanese thing with tentacle and
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I just I'm bad in English. I just what do you mean?
Anti.
I'm gonna go watch some of that right after this.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, we really need a podcast.
It's not against
And they-
IPAs or against
Okay,
these.
okay.
It's not like these trends are those are major trends in the craft beer, and IPAs are here to stay, and it's not against this. We just felt that the market was mature enough and developed enough to have a brand dedicated only to lagers, and one thing, let's be real, one thing that is easier having a brand in contract brew as a gypsy brewer, let's say, is if the demand is not there, we'll try, but we don't have like a building and equipment and staff and everything, so we can test the market with this brand,
And we can still get cocky about we'll just do some lagers. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Because it's not important. We already have jobs, and we say yes, we want this to work. We want this to be
and so
accomplished.
far,
And they're doing
so
some
good.
pretty
I
good
mean,
lagers. But if we can stay cocky about this and just say, yeah, we're doing lagers. We won't do, we'll do lagers, and 3 months after we have bills to pay, so we'll do some milkshake coconut and yeah. That's not the point.
well,
That's not the point.
yeah.
I can't
Yes,
think of
Ella.
anyone who's done that.
Do you say this in English? We don't have our balls on the table.
Yeah, you say put your balls on the. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess you could put your balls on the table.
Nobody
We,
says that, but yeah, you can say it.
No.
You can say that.
No, you can say it.
You, Alex, you can say it. You could put those balls on that table.
And we'll sniff them.
Let's do this. But
I was ready.
So far, the response is.
I saw
so
those
far,
balls.
the response is amazing.
You're mentor for Manscaped. This podcast is broadcast you by Manscaped.
Oh boy.
That was very. We're gonna pop up the little thing on the screen with the balls flying at you. Boom, 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 boom.
No, but we don't have a lot to lose, But so far, the response is amazing, and especially in kegs, This is something we wanted to develop, but we thought it was going to take more time, maybe. But the like very soon, many tap rooms, many bars were like, we want this, and they just don't order one, they order like 4, 5, and actually I think Vice Versa and Point Carré had this little so Vice Versa ordered 4, Point Carré had 3 on order, and when he heard that Vice had 4, he said, no, I want more than him, so I'll order 2 more to have 5. So and
that's awesome.
So and it's and these places, especially Point Carré, he's so it's it's a Kolsch club, and Kolsch is it's a lagerized ale, but he still has a lot of very good lagers on his menu, and he wants to have I think so far the response is good, and so we're going to do more kegs than we were planning for the next batch, but it's a very good problem,
Very good
because for us, lager beer, both lager beer and Pilsner, lagers in general are like community beer. Like there's a you share them around the table and in a pub, and there's something that you share, so you can share it in cans, obviously, or drink it alone. But I prefer it in a pub. You know, it's so nice, and especially the
Alone in
place
the
that
pub.
or alone in the pub.
Whatever works.
And especially the place that they do let's talk about slow pour. Let's get real here, gentlemen. The place that do a proper slow pour, respect. I
Oh,
respect
yeah.
them, you know.
That's the
And
best.
Poincaré is one of those places. They take the time to do a slow pour with an amazing foam, and man, I just love this so much.
All right, well, I
Yeah,
have to go back like ASAP because now I'm
Oh,
craving
yeah.
all of the things.
We just need a Luca at home like Jason.
Frankie Baron has a slow pour, which is cool. Silo has two
Silo
or
has,
three.
Yeah.
Somewhere else does
So
too.
it's starting to become more popular.
Oblong and Granby have one.
But you can
Do they
do this
really?
at home, you know.
Grimoire
It's
has one.
possible to do a slow pour at home in a can. Let me grab a fresh can and I'll change the glass because you won't see it, but I want to Lagersplain how to do a slow pour at home. I'll be right back.
You know what?
Should I do it at the same time and then we'll do it together? You can teach me.
You know what? I could.
Stigma. Lagersplaining.
Lagersplain, baby. I'll get a better glass too.
Get a better glass. Me and Jason will hold it down.
Yeah.
We,
No joke. I have to smoke cigarettes. So we're just, I think the podcast.
it's done. It's over.
No, but yeah, maybe it's not done. You just make it a pause. We're starting with the slow pour, or it's for the Patreon. Is it Patreon?
The Patreon version.
You want to know how to do a slow pour?
Subscribe.
Go to Patreon.
Become a member. $8.95 a month.
Okay. So, Lagersplaining.
Lagersplain it
How
up.
to slow pour at home 101.
Let's
Are you
go.
ready?
Let's go.
So yeah, I'll try to. Yeah, okay. Not bad. Yeah. So.
All right.
It's quite simple actually.
I didn't know you could do this from a can.
Yeah, slow pour from a can at home. You just like pour it like a savage.
Yep.
Only foam.
Okay.
Then you wait.
Okay.
You wait. This is why it's called a slow pour. You wait and you talk with your friends, and every now and then you just add a little bit more.
Until the whole
And
can's
it will
full.
build up. It will build up, and you will get this crazy meringue style foam.
And
it doesn't, like, most of the styles won't necessarily do that.
Okay.
But when you have the right combination of malt proteins and hops, you can get a very good. I call this a foam sculpture. You know.
Foam sculpture.
Yeah.
I love it. So, like, what's the ratio? What's the perfect ratio of foam to beer?
Depends on the glass, you know. This I always try to target for at least, let's say, two to three finger of foam, because I prefer like thicker foam. I feel it preserves more aroma in the beer. And, yeah. But
even in like a Pilsner glass like this, like the mug is like three, like
yeah.
So it's like close to. It's like a little, probably like 40%.
Yeah, but especially on this type of glass you have, you can build like up to like 3-inch higher than the glass. You know. Oh no, is this a competition?
Oh yeah, let's go, Forrest, let's go.
All
right.
I already said
Alex.
Competition?
I don't have a. I have the
No. I want you to teach me the pour that you were describing, how to do it.
Oh, okay. I'm Lagersplaining.
Please, I would like to be Lagersplained.
Crack the can open.
Open that bad boy, Noah. Yeah, look at that.
Okay. It's very simple. Just like pour like a fucking savage, like
very aggressively, or like a nitro
yeah.
can, like
Fill-
a nitro.
Fill your glass with foam.
So just
And
before,
just keep going the whole thing.
but don't let no. Don't let the stop just before when you know the foam is kind of going to rise a bit more. So
Yeah,
don't let it overflow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll let you know.
More aggressive, and then stop.
Okay, stop.
Stop. Okay.
Okay, then you wait.
Now we wait, Noah. Now we wait.
Yeah, that's why it's called a slow pour.
All
So,
right.
so mine has settled down a little bit. So I'll add some more.
And what does the
It's
slow
already-
pour, Alex? If you want to explain, what's the difference between like a slow pour and like a regular pour? Like what should people expect to taste?
I think it's the same thing, but
I
it's
mean-
slower.
It makes you want it that much more badly because
You're just
waiting
staring
so
at
long
it for like
it.
10 fucking minutes. God damn it! I want
It
this
makes
beer.
a very beautiful foam.
Woof.
First of all,
Yeah.
and
Une meringue.
and it's also it's decarbing the beer a little because
Mhm.
when you're making it foam, you're releasing CO2 bubbles, so the beer will be a little bit less sparkling.
So
And
it feels
so
creamier.
The texture will be maybe it won't like pitsy,
Fizzy.
sparkle as much
Prickly.
on your tongue, in your mouth. Personally, I prefer beers when they are on the lower end of the spectrum in terms of carb. Depends on the style. Obviously, if I'm
Yeah.
drinking a saison, I'll prefer a more like vivid bubbles. But lagers, I think when you're doing a slow pour, you will decarb it a little.
And
Top it up,
there,
Noah.
Just
And there's a
Thanks,
technical.
but how do I
pretty
pour
obvious-
this
Normal.
time?
Pour it normal.
Norm.
look at this. It's beautiful.
Yes. There you go. Oof. There
Oh,
you go.
god damn, that looks good.
It's
Doesn't
like
that
the,
look good?
it's like the baby
And
Jesus in a glass.
That's like a doudou. That's like a small couverture or hydrodon. I always say that in English. A big, a
Cover.
a big cover you put when you
Pillow
sleep
or duvet?
with a
Oh.
lot of it's a
Like a blanket, like a
it's
duvet.
like, yeah, blanket. Yeah, this is, yeah. It's like a blanket you put on the liquid, and
liquid
the liquid
blanket.
is not oxidized because they protect with all this layer of foam.
Ooh, I like that.
So you protect the liquid too from
Yes.
the all those bacterial and shitty thing that's slay in the air we deal with. So the liquid is just perfect. It's like a baby. It's it's protecting the glass, protect with this little
like a
foamy
baby.
shin, and it just
It will slow down the.
you're like drinking a
will slow
baby,
down the
man.
oxidation.
We're drinking a baby, boys.
You're drinking, baby.
Cheers.
Get a baby in you. I love it. That's a great lesson. That's a great way. Was there anything else we wanted to make sure we touched on? How we feeling? We just hit 2 hours. How we feeling?
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it went really quick.
Oh, I think we
2 hours.
then
Jason's
we need,
MVP of this podcast for sure.
I forgot that I wasn't showing my face that whole time.
It's all right.
Oh,
You're,
shit.
since you've
I
grown
forgot
the
about
bigger beard,
pants.
Alex, are you noticing this more?
Sorry.
Since you've got
Since
the
you've
bigger
grown
beard,
the beard, do you notice this happening a lot more?
Do I notice?
the milk mustache.
Oh yeah. I'm growing a beard too. Yeah. So my daughter actually told me.
Alex is doing full Kratos.
Yeah.
But the God of War Viking Kratos style.
Oh, yeah.
Shaved head and
Big beard.
No, because it's actually a quite simple reason because I'm so I have
I'm
this.
poor and I can't shave.
No,
This
no,
podcast
because
is brought
I'm
to you
doing
by
some
Manscaped.
lumber work.
How the fuck did you even do that?
They're gonna love it. They really are.
No, I'm doing some lumber work outside on my land. I bought a small land to have a honey farm project, and so I had there's a lot of dead trees. What's this in English? Frêne. I think it's ash tree. You know those trees that have
They were burnt.
ash tree. I think. ASH.
Were they burned?
Frêne. There's like a bug that is basically eating this tree alive.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ash
okay.
tree.
Ash tree.
My friend say ash
So
tree.
yeah, I had quite a lot of dead ash tree on the land, so I had to do chainsaw work, and so the beer is keeping me like a lumberjack. You know,
It's important.
it's
It's good
so
to be.
it's actually a
I just have
practical beer.
you said lumberjack and just have the Monty Python. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay.
You have to. It's craft beer. You have to have a beard, man. You have no choice.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I actually
and it's definitely a
resisted,
brewer's. It's a brewer's beer.
Yeah, tattoos and a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Often,
You got a tattoos. You got a beer.
yeah, and glasses. You need glasses too, bro.
Yeah.
No, it's a part of the game.
Well,
Like a Dragon Ball-ish size.
But yeah, maybe the last thing we can touch on is the we mentioned earlier that we want to have this brew pub / cellar, underground cellar, and it's something that we want to do as soon as possible, but it's the right place that will determine when we'll do it, but in the meantime, we're like we're keeping the brand development of this, and if people want to contribute to our Patreon,
I was ready to.
want to finance ourselves.
I was gonna pay
I'll
up.
pay if you go on OnlyFans.
We're
I'll
on Twitch. We got a Discord.
OnlyFans, I'm here for it. Lager fans, only lager. Let's go.
OnlyFans, lager tits.
No.
I like that. I pay $7 a month for lager tits. There you go. We're getting cancelled now for sure. It's over.
Oh,
I am milk that cow.
I milk that cow. So there's a lot of stuff coming. No
stuff this year. I had my share.
No more. Everyone is fine. But so there's a lot of stuff coming. So people, I mean, there's the Lagerbier, there's the Pilsner now. There's collaborations coming up. There's the return of both of these sort of flagship beers, with potentially, start to introduce some more new ones from the to the lineup. Looks like you've had a strong start in 2021, and 2022 is looking to be big already. Look, these products are already fantastic, and like you're saying, you're already figuring out how to tweak them and make them, improve them as any great brewer does. No one's satisfied. Look, I love it, man. I'm really happy to get the full story from you guys, and I'm really happy for you all.
And if those things happens, like the collabo, the new things, the new, it will happen. If it won't, it won't. It's
Yeah.
We have no
We'll go
matter
with the
about
flow.
that. We're not carving about the. We need to be and to care and to. We just want to brew and taste some good beer, and that's it. We're not the fear of missing out, the opportunity to push the brand on the bigger. That's just what we want to do. We just want to do some good beer.
I love it, man.
And
That's amazing.
and I think those two guys, though one of them is not there. Well, I think those two guys, Alex and Ali, know how to do some good beer.
They
So
do.
that's why I'm here. I'm just here for them.
And you know how to drink some good beer.
Oh, he does. Look at him. He's a professional, Alex.
Professional.
Give me a sound effect. A professional.
Professional.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, I love it. This is awesome. Noah, was there anything else you wanted to add just as a final thought at all, or any final question or anything?
I'm very much enjoying this Pilsner. I think it's fucking amazing.
It's spectacular.
And I'm anxious
I
to
think,
see how
next-
it evolves.
Next batch will be. We already discussed this with Olivier, but next batch will be a little bit more hops on the aromatic.
Yeah.
But
But not a lot.
Yeah.
Just a tweak.
Yeah, a little.
Just
we'll
Call
add
it
a-
Just,
We'll add a comma in the sentence of the chapter of the book.
yeah.
You know?
Oh, that's full circle right there.
Same thing with the Lagerbier. Lagerbier was, I think, was for me was perfect for those two guys. It's a bit too sweet, and we just want to tweak the sweetness,
Mhm.
and
It's a fine balance. We
will see.
we dropped the
we
mash temperature.
we literally put a Thanos quote on the Lagerbier.
What's that?
It's perfectly balanced. All like
As
everything
everything
should
should
be.
be. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's Thanos.
I love it.
But yeah, we actually for the second batch of the lager beer, we lowered the mash temperature by half a degree Celsius, and it's and Sean at Avant-Garde was like rolling his eyes, guys.
It makes a
One
difference.
degree is 1 degree.
He was kidding us, but Olivier and I were like, no, we know what we're doing, and we're at this point we're doing fine tuning and micro adjustments, and we comma in the sentence in the chapter of the book. That's
If we can split degrees, we'll talk about half degrees.
Yeah. We're going to
Why not?
We're doing this.
If you have the time and
It's Quantic
the
Brewery.
inspiration, then fucking do it.
You'd be crazy not to. Why not, right?
Yeah.
No, I love it, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a really exciting project. I'm really happy for you guys, and I think I'd love to touch base next year once there's some more updates, and we'll keep people updated and what's happening and where it's at. But yeah, man, congrats, seriously. Like, I think it's just really, really fantastic. It's a really cool new chapter for the three of you. I was really happy when I saw it was all three of you guys involved.
Yeah.
So far,
At least we're two. The third one is always sad, but he's not
yeah, don't worry about it. We'll get Ollie on next time. No, it's great, and I love that you're even working with Sean and Renault are such fantastic guys at Avant-Garde, and they're great partners, and I'm really happy that you're even doing it. They care, they really do. The pizza's A1, right?
Pizza too.
I gotta try it.
Good.
Yeah, they're good. They're great.
I've been really wanting to try that
Hey,
stuff.
thanks for having us. It's much appreciated, and it's always a lot of fun, and and I'm happy that Jason didn't mention that he was Danny.
Oh, we're gonna take. Speaking of that, we have to take the thumbnail.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
let me get the screenshot ready. Okay, can you hold up some cans or something? I'm gonna hold up a couple of these bad boys. Jason, hold up the Luca.
And but as you take the picture, Jason, I need to hear some kind of ridiculous sound.
Hang on, where we go? Here we go. Ready?
We're taking a thumbnail.
Only the people will know. The people who watch and listen will know. Let me give him one more of them. And with that, what an episode! Oh, we didn't know.
Never gets old.
Alex and Jasen, where can everyone find Lagerbräu online?
Where we can find Lagerbräu?
Online. So
Online.
yeah, what's the Instagram, the website?
Instagram, Facebook, and soon, maybe in the early next week, I think the Shopify will be online. Jason,
Nice.
Nice.
we have some merch just in time for.
Working hard on this.
I love it.
Shopify is a lot of fucking mess.
These will go on sale. The Stein.
The lug. Yes.
Bière adéquate.
That's great.
Put
yeah.
beer.
So Facebook,
baby.
Instagram,
Yeah. Is it just
on tap on your favorite place.
and the Facebook and Instagram? Is it just Lagerbräu or is it like
I think it's
Lagerbräu everywhere?
I think it's
Bière
Lagerbräu.
Lagerbräu. Bière Lagerbräu or Lagerbräu.
You'll find it.
Like,
Just right, Lager.
You guys are on top of this.
I hope.
Just write Lagerbräu and you'll find it.
Oh, we're working to be on the top
They've been working on the other side
of
first.
the lager.
you Google lager and then it's us.
It's
on the first.
Top
Bière
of them.
Lagerbräu on Instagram.
There you go. Thank you, Forrest. Look at that. Noah coming
Hey,
through
thanks a
with you.
lot.
Nah, man. Honestly, genuine pleasure to have you guys, man. You guys are awesome. It was great to meet Undrunk
Yeah, it's
Jason. You know,
I'm drunk, Jason.
Well, transitioning into
transitioning.
drunk- it's
Transitioning
been a
Jason.
process that got here organically, as opposed to the like
Yeah.
throwing them on you like the Tasmanian devil or
It's
something.
punding
Just,
in
like,
me.
spins around.
Baby steps. And you know what? I appreciate it. Noah, where can everyone find you online, bro?
Beerism.ca.
I love it. Boom.
That's it, yeah.
I love it. Everyone, guys, stick around. I'm just going to wrap this up, and we'll finish up the call, and we'll finish up after. But everyone, thank you so much for watching and listening. If you enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell so you know when the new drops. Follow us on social media
All the
at
things.
you do it every single thing. Just do it, or you're
Do it.
upset, drunk, Jason.
Do
You
it.
don't want to do that.
Do
Follow us on social media everywhere at BAOS Podcast. Check out the long form audio so you can hear attractive. I was hoping you'd do that. Attractive gentlemen like these right here every week, guys. We'll see you in the next episode. Get it in you.